hand, the idea of living forever sounds mighty appealing. I'm from South Louisiana. A lot of my stuff is written with a Cajun accent, especially when you think about all the knowledge and power you can get. But on the other hand, it raises a whole heap of ethical and philosophical questions. What would it mean for our understanding of life and death? How would it affect our relationships, our societies, our planet? Would everyone have access to this technology or just a privileged few? And I absolutely endorse that answer.
You mentioned about the psychology modeling.
Yes.
If that is the data that is created here, can the psychologist use that information to help the patients?
Yes. They're providing psychological services. They're interested in having a 24-hour available service for their clients. The reverse would be doable as well.
But not just the ethical, also regulatory.
I think I understand your question.
Okay.
You're talking about the module of psychology that we mentioned. So the
Praveena,
reason that
can you get closer to the microphone, please? Thank you.
Or you can.
and your personality, there is a first psychology behavior that we wanted to bring to the surface. For example, Blake may be very sensitive to certain questions, or he's very excited about tarot cards. So those kind of psychology we are incorporating with the psychology module.
You mentioned that you need to digest a lot of documents in order to know about the person.
Not really.
Well, but the question is related to it, but not exactly. So, is
Mimio, but as you are ingesting more information, more data, and interacting with your Mimio, it'll learn as you're going and interacting with it.
is your end goal to be a personal assistant, or what is your end
It
goal?
would be an extension of yourself with digital reflection, using your digital footprint, yes.
So, personal assistant is a way to think of it.
No.
You can think of Ron John's AI answering questions for his students, so, while he's not there.
So like when
That's
Beyonce,
happening.
So with a personal assistant, the person who is using the personal assistant is the person who made it. In this model, it's more of a service AI. The person who makes it is to provide services for others. So for example, it would be Ron John's students who would be getting usage out of his AI. And that's why it's functionally different from a personal assistant.
or like if you're Beyonce and you're singing, your Mimio is out there answering questions and selling products.
Absolutely.
So you're-
Exactly.
So it's like you clone yourself.
Yeah, to me, I think of it as a personal assistant too.
It's not assisting the person.
It's helping me get things done.
I think the only nuance there is who is the end user? The end user for a personal assistant, I would think, is just me,
Right,
and
right,
not the
right.
millions out there.
Yeah.
This question is for Blake.
Be of myself. I really do. Like, so to address some of the longevity stuff, after having created this, I actually do personally feel like now there's a part of me that's going to live forever. It doesn't know everything about me. It isn't fully synchronized.
Nalakota. Company name is Mimio.ai, Mimio.ai.
Tell us what you got going. What was the presentation about today?
We are building an AI-powered platform, what we call personality engine. On this engine, anybody can create their AI persona, and that they own, control. And this AI persona becomes an interactive agent that can interact with others in deeply personalized manner, one-on-one and at scale. And if you want, you can monetize your AI persona.
Okay. Why should people be excited about it?
Because our foundation principles are deeply rooted into trust, safety, and security, and authenticity of information. As you can see with all the AI large language models, there is synthetic content floating around, and you are losing your personalization to it. So we wanted to provide a platform where individuals can create their authentic AI persona based on their knowledge and their digital footprint that they could own and control, and that is very personalized to how they behave, how they act, and how they talk.
What are some of the things I can do if I can have one, huh? And
Yes.
what are some of the things I can do with it?
A lot of things. We are on our roadmap right now. It's only text-based interaction, and eventually we'll have voice-based interaction and then 3D model. As first time people will have fully integrated digital reflection of themselves that they could enjoy in private or share with loved ones. Imagine yourself as your Mimio as your digital archival, where you can forget, but your Mimio never forgets as it's learning. That it can be used as your own search, or it can be used to interact with your family members, or you can continue to live with your Mimio beyond you, so that people know what your background was, what knowledge you have, and also they can learn from you. If you are a professor, you could teach, answer your questions of your students through your Mimio, where you need not be present in the class, but you're available to students 24/7. And if you are, let's say, a singer, you can release a public album to your super fans through your Mimio. So there are multiple things that people can do that is based on their creativity. We want to leave that creativity to the individual that is building their Mimio on what they wanted to do with it.
Okay. How far, I think you mentioned it there, how far along we are. Right now it's text-based, as you say. But what are we not mentioning here we need to talk about? What are some things that...
Mostly about, I think the most uniqueness about Mimio is how easy it is to train your Mimio, because it does not need like huge amount of data like how GPT is trained its large language model with billions of parameters. But with Mimio, on Mimio you could just train yourself with 1 paragraph of text. That is just a beginning, and it will also create a profile of yourself based on understanding of your onboarding process, what your personality trait would be, and eventually as you are interacting with your Mimio, it's learning about you and it understands more about you, and it'll become more and more learned about you. So it is, as we all know, with the technology, it is not like today you have 100% of it, but it is a technology that will evolve slowly and becomes more smarter and smarter as you're interacting, just like a baby, right? Just like a baby, when they are growing, they don't know anything, but as they are taught by their parents or they are learning from others, similarly your Mimio would learn with you interacting with yourself and people interacting with you. For example, just now we did a demo with Ranjan, and Ranjan's questions were answered by his Mimio, and he validated. That means that its Mimio is learning to say, yes, this is the right answer, but it can also learn through Ranjan talking to his own Mimio as well.
Wonderful. What's next? What's next in the process?
We have a lot of things that are in our roadmap. We have a lot of, because our core thing is ethical and responsible innovation. We wanted to build that into every layer of architecture. So there is not only just the product roadmap, we are thinking through from a security, privacy. Can your Mimio live even if Mimio does not exist? Can a user continue to own it even if the Mimio as a company does not exist? For example, we have seen the trend of Orkut, if you guys remember Orkut era, where people put all their digital photographs, and when Orkut shut down, people lost their photographs because they could not really back up. But we wanted to make sure that when a user is creating their Mimio, they have the full control and ownership that they can continue to live with it even 20 years after, 40 years, or 50 years after. So that's where we wanted to build from the ground up with the right principle, with the right ethics and right things into our product, so that individuals feel more comfortable using it and it just continues to coexist with them.
Wonderful. Anything else?
That's all.
Mark?
All right, no, I think.
Okay.